By the way, me and the Gen Z Club are running a free cryptocurrency masterclass webinar, which will go into the basics of crypto, getting started, investing, and then into the more advanced concepts, which include futures trading and NFTs and way more. Our sponsors Zumo are also depositing £5 worth of Ethereum or BTC into your Zumo account when you sign up to the webinar. Essentially, you're getting paid to learn. Don't miss out. GY, who I've also interviewed on this channel, will also be there doing a Q&A. So if you want to ask him any direct questions, make sure they're there. Link in the description. Let's get it. Okay, cool. So NFTs, non-fungible tokens. What made you want to get into it? When did you first come across it? And
Yeah, I don't really specifically remember when I first heard of it, but I just know it was kind of a craze. Just due to like crypto punks going crazy. I used to see like the YouTubers I used to watch would talk about it. I was like, I put it to the side, to be honest, didn't really look at it too much. And then like on Twitter I saw it and I was like, yo, let me just like understand. Because when I understand this, when a lot of people start talking about things, you need to put yourself in their shoes. Like, why would they be talking about this? Maybe I am missing something here. So I took some time out of my day to just look into it. I was like, whoa, this is actually pretty big. I started looking into the projects and what it actually means, why NFTs are important, the future of NFTs. Is there a space for it in the world, in the real world utility? And then after doing my research, I came to the conclusion that NFTs are big. If you're not investing in them now, I'll advise you to be invested in them. Just start small, of course, but don't obviously go all in, but do your research like I did, and then slowly just get into it. But the question was why NFTs, right?
Yeah, why NFTs?
It's just, it's a new kind of like sector. It's just like, it's kind of like, it's like proof of ownership that you own something. Like say, if a Rolex was an NFT, some people could create fakes. It's kind of like just contracted that you own it. It's on a smart contract. You cannot alter it. No government can take that away from you. It's done. It's yours. If it's yours, it's yours. That's the best thing about NFTs. Like it's like used for verification, it can be used for art, to verify that's the real Mona Lisa or whatever. It's kind of like that. It's very important in the future. Like there are gonna be new utilities to NFTs, like concert tickets and just stuff like that. Just real use case. I want to talk about the first NFT I invested in. It was actually a pretty memey one. It was called the Doge Pound.
Okay.
Yeah, it was made from, like, say, it was for the Doge community, right? And I invested that because I understand the power of community. NFT is pretty much all community based. And if it has a strong community, then pretty much the price goes up. So that was pretty much a speculative bet. It was like 4K at the time. I was like, I put on my story, I was like, yo, first NFT, like if it goes well, it goes well. But I did my research, I understood the team behind it. They were doxed and I saw the community is very strong. Right now, I don't even check it anymore. The floor was probably like 2-3 ETH, so it was like double, tripled. But that's just a small investment. The main problem is with NFTs is it's pretty much in a bubble right now. In my opinion, because a lot of things are community based. I think there's a direct correlation with price and community. If price goes up, the community goes up. But if price starts dropping down, the community gets less, disheartened. And like it's much easier for it to drop. And when price starts dropping in NFT, it's much scarier because it's much harder to sell an NFT. Because with crypto, you can literally sell out instantly. But with NFTs, if no one wants to buy it, then even if it's worth say 50 ETH on paper, if you can't sell it for 40 ETH, then it doesn't matter. Like you're selling at a 10 ETH discount, which is like what 30K, a discount. People be like, yo, why has it dropped this much? I'm not buying it now. And then it goes to like 30 ETH and then 20 ETH, and then you can't sell it because nobody wants your NFTs. It's not something that's backed by like a utility or like something that's always needed. If that makes sense. It's not backed by real value. It's just based off community of what they believe it's worth, which is why I believe it's a bubble.
Just off what you said, do you then think, maybe, I'm not trying to spread any fear or uncertainty, but if there was to be an NFT crash in the market, do you think that'd be worse and more impactful than the crypto crashes that we've seen?
I mean, believe it or not, there actually has been an NFT crash. So what normally happens is when cryptos go up, NFTs normally go through a bear season because people sell their NFTs to go into FOMO into crypto. And when cryptos go down, NFTs tend to go up because people taking their profits. What are they going to do with the profits? Let me just invest in this nice picture, this nice little dog, whatever. And people just like, investors just do silly things these days. Like they just ape into like random things. So that's kind of how it works. Like right now, crypto is sliding, so that means NFT season. It's actually going up. Like right now, my NFT portfolio is increasing tenfold, whilst crypto's going down. So like, whoa, what's happening? Like crypto's going down, but NFTs are going up. So you have to understand that correlation first of all. NFTs actually have been through a bear market, but it wasn't crazy big. It was just a big decrease from the peak hype, if that makes sense. But it's still pretty high. And now NFTs are going much higher now, especially like BAYC and like other smaller projects.
Yeah, obviously everyone knows of the Bored Apes. You know, your favorite rapper probably has their profile picture on Twitter, Instagram. What do you think of that project? Yeah. And I'm guessing that's the. Would you say that's the Bitcoin of NFTs per se, or is that?
I would say that's like the Ethereum. The Bitcoin is probably like CryptoPunks because CryptoPunks. Why? Because it's the first ever. It has historical value. Like 10 years down the line, even if the community's not there, it still holds the value of being the first ever. And the first ever edition appearance, even in the collecting world, in the real world, the first edition is always worth something. So CryptoPunks I feel like will all have some sort of value. It doesn't really need community hype and like crazy people to buy it because it's just something that's first on the blockchain. Second, so BAYC, they're pretty much the biggest in terms of community. They have a crazy community. They have partnerships with Adidas, and they're doing some crazy things. Pretty much every celebrity has bought it. So which is why I believe right now is probably around the peak of it, because after all the celebrities buy it, kind of like what else can you get excited now? Like they're partnered with Adidas, one of the biggest like multi-billion-dollar company. Who think a partner with next? It's kind of the upside is limited now because it's already increased so much. So like, but the downside is so much bigger because it's gone up so much. And when prices start dropping like 10 ETH, like I said, who's gonna be buying it? Like people will be buying it, but it'll be dropping much faster because people start listing it because they're scared that it's dropping. And then people buying it at the top of things is never a good idea. You want to be buying when things are low. And that's kind of what I'm investing in now. There's NFT projects where things are low. No celebrities have bought it. I understand the value behind it. I understand there's a true backing behind it. And that's the plays I go for, the low-key ones that haven't blown up, which has the potential to blow up, that I think is pretty much guaranteed to blow up, just based on the research I've done.
Could you share that, or is it?
Yeah, sure. It's an app. It's an app on the phone. They have a token as well. It's called Veve. It's Veve. You can download it on the App Store. My friend Zach, called Zach, he actually got me into it. When I posted the dog NFT, that's when he DM'd me say, yo, do you know about Veve? I was like, nah, not too much. And then I started looking into it instantly, and it was a hit. I was like, bro, I need to slap in 10K right now. He was like, oh, you can't buy it with crypto. That's the only problem. You cannot buy it with crypto. And all my money's in crypto. So I was thinking, I have to withdraw to my bank, and then it's kind of a...
Oh, so this is the app. You have to withdraw it to your bank and buy on apps?
Because App Store, right? Yes, App Store. But obviously there's ways around it, which I'll go into later. So then I forgot about it for a month, and then I spoke to him about it, like, yo, bro. So then I actually put in some with fiat. So I put in like 3K with just my own money, like just. But then he told me like there's actually a Telegram group which sells the in-app currency called Gems for crypto. Okay. So I was like, yo, that's crazy. Give me that group now. And then so basically like an escrow service. So there's a middleman. There's a person with crypto. There's a guy with in-app currency. So the Gems. And then it's the exchange. So that's what I did. I started.
1-to-1 or?
No, you actually got a discount. Like, you actually got a discount of like 30% or like 20%. Yeah.
Oh, because they also want to get rid of.
They just want to get rid of the gems. Yeah, they've just made their money. Yeah, so it was actually very good for me as well. It was perfect for me.
So you're getting more than the fiat in the App Store.
So it's much better for me because number one, I don't need to cash out to get it, and I can actually pay with crypto and I get a discount. So I was like, come on. And it's a crazy app as well. So let me just tell you a bit about the app and why I believe I invest in it so much. What this company has pretty much, it has IP, which is intellectual property, which is basically like a license. So they're the licenses to Spider-Man, they have licenses to Batman, Disney, $320 billion company. Disney owns pretty much everything, ESPN, WWE, NFL, Marvel, Spider-Man, everything. Disney princesses, Toy Story, pretty much everything they own, like cars, NBA Top Shots, all of that stuff. It's owned by Disney, like they're a big parent company that has a lot of things underneath them. Cereal, everything, man. Disneyland. And they've decided to partner up with this company, this small company, like why? And understand the first ever Disney NFT on the blockchain and the first ever Spider-Man NFT on the blockchain. That's gonna hold significant value because there's already significant value in the real world that you can compare it to, like a digital collectible. You can compare it to the physical collectible. And that's why I went very hard into it.
Straight, you just knew.
Yeah, I just knew because
It's Disney.
it's Disney. Like, there's no other company that has IPs and licenses like Veve because they can't acquire it. Because they're very protected with that IP. The head of licensing is actually the guy who brought Pokemon to North America. So there's actually speculation. She's pretty much guaranteed to have Pokemon, and Pokemon is pretty much the biggest IP in the world. You can imagine, like the Logan Paul with the trading cards with the Pokemon. The Logan Paul itself increased Pokemon cards. So when it comes onto the app, you can imagine the mass adoption that'll be go crazy.
You guys, you heard this.
So right now, also, the token is not even on huge exchanges yet. It's not on Binance, not on KuCoin, it's not on Coinbase, FTX. The reason why is because they're on an old chain. So they're not on the Ethereum chain yet, but they're migrating over to the Ethereum chain. They're on an old chain because that chain was used for NFTs back in the day, like in 2018 when they first founded. But now they're migrating over to Ethereum. So now you can put these NFTs on OpenSea. So when you put that on OpenSea, people see the first ever Spider-Man NFT. It's not like a random picture where people just say it has value. This actually has value because it's a licensed, it's proper, it's backed by the actual company. And the company is not going to let that fail, right? It's their name's on the line. They're $1 billion. They're going to slap in money into the app to make sure it's running smoothly, to make sure they have the best developers, to make sure it has the biggest reach.
Literally.
Like Disneyland's studies coming out with its own metaverse as well. You can maybe put these collectibles. You will be able to put these collectibles in that metaverse. And when people come visit you in the metaverse, they're like, yo, look, what is this massive statue? I'll probably show you later. Actually, I'll show you now. Actually, there's I'm gonna show you now. So I have 290 collectibles. I'll probably do a screen recording on screen. So we have like James Bond, we have Spider-Man, we have Walt and Mickey. So like this one, I could have bought like a Rolex with this or whatever. It cost me 6K, right? Right now it's worth 18K.
Wow.
And it's just literally, it's just literally just this, it's just a golden statue with a golden Mickey.
Wow. No, that's actually big.
So it's a very crazy space because it's collectibles, but no one really knows about it. And look, you can move around with it, like you can take pictures of it, like. You can AR, so like you can, and then it'll show it'll show up it'll be like it's in the room with you. Like soon when you have glasses, like people will be to walk into a room and like imagine you're in your room, you have a big like golden statue, like yo, that's the rarest statue in the world. That's a big flex, especially with millionaires. So when they start buying into this, this is just the beginning when no one knows about it. It's already 18K. So imagine when. And there's also only like 4,000 editions. So only 4,000 people in the world could own this.
Wow.
First ever Disney NFT. So now you understand like the scarcity, the demand, like it goes crazy.
It's there still.
Yeah, you got stamps, like the US government approved a license for this. The US government, I don't think anyone understands how big that is. US government.
It's official.
Yeah. You got Cartoon Network, Spider-Man, like I said, the Bart skateboard, Captain America, Jaws, the film, Ultraman, which is $1 billion company in Asia. This app doesn't have languages yet, so the Asians haven't even come in, the Spanish guys haven't come in. So when that comes in, they see their favorite characters, they start buying into. Exactly, see what I mean now? It's converging into something that I know will happen because they have the funding, they have the big branded behind it.
So once they add language options, it's already going up. Once you can translate.
Yeah, localization is pretty much the biggest thing in terms of sales, because when it's in the language, like Brazilian language or like Spanish, Mandarin, Hindu, like Indians, like Chinese guys, Japanese guys, and when they have their own language, they're in the billions. Like right now, it's only in the West, and those guys are crazy fans of like anime and all of that, collecting stuff. Definitely. And yeah, that's why it's crazy.
So what characteristics and things look for in terms of investing in NFTs? Because some people may say, this is a picture, my judgment may be flawed compared to someone else's. What do you look for? Is it more the things behind it, like we mentioned, like the confluences, or what do you look for? Not even in a picture, but on an NFT per se.
Personally, because of this, I can't say I advise you, but I would advise you not to touch anything else because it's not guaranteed. It's more current. Like when all NFTs drop, those NFTs will probably drop. But this, because it's backed by real companies and you can like compare it to a real value. Like these collectibles actually exist in the real world. Or, like there's also comics on this. So like the real comics will go for 200K in the real life. They should go for 200K in the digital world. You can compare it, and it actually has a brand behind it that everyone knows already.
Yeah.
But like not everyone knows BAYC, you know. Like if you go to like say like Spain, the average person probably won't know, but if they're not involved in the space. But everyone knows Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And everyone can download the app and anyone can put in their credit card and buy it. With BAYC, you have to, there's like 16 steps to even get that. You have to have the money and you have to put in 16 steps to create a wallet, exchange, you withdraw it, you got tax issues and you got gas fees as well. Like.
Oh, wow, so you don't really dabble too much in community-based NFT.
I used to until I found this.
And
then this, like, I don't really need anything else because I'm already satisfied with this. Like
content.
Yeah, like it went from a 5-figure position to a 6-figure position in less than a month.
Talk about how much you put in that 5-figure position.
So like slowly laddered it in. So did like 10K.
Yeah.
Initially, so 3K in fiat initially, then raised it to added 10K, so 13K, and then 7K, and then 10K. So I put in around like, I don't know the exact transactions, to be honest, is around 30 to 40K initial investment.
Yeah.
And slowly, as time I add DCA in, when there's a new drop, new mint, the way it works is anyone can get the NFT. There's a secondary marketplace and there's a mint function. So whenever it's time for an NFT to drop, everyone goes to this mint page, you press buy. Like, my girl actually put it on. The first one she ever got was one of the rarest ones, and she got like a low mint number. So like, what mint number is? So there's 5,000 editions. Each edition has its own number. So 5,000, 499, 498, all of that stuff. And the lower the edition is, the more rare it is. So yeah, it costed her $6 to mint it, and it's worth around like $1,000.
Wow,
so like 160x in the second, just from acquiring the NFT from mint, because like I said, there's always drops available. You can just buy it straight away if you get lucky, obviously, because there's like so many people trying to buy it at the same time, and there's only like 10,000. So there's always.
Wow, nah, guys, like you heard, Veve, you guys need to
Veve, get onto that ASAP.
I've noticed with your research skills, actually, throughout the interview, you've mentioned that you see something, you go and look. In terms of researching and finding information, what sources do you use? Do you use Twitter, Reddit? How do you research, and can you highlight? Because I feel like it's an important process.
Yeah. Again, it's mainly YouTube, Google, Reddit, like you said. Reddit, like subpages have like the real geeks, geeks that actually know a lot about it, and they make subreddits about it.
That's where Wall Street Bets originally
Smaller title community on Reddit. Discord, like their Discord channels, they're just asking around. Twitter is very big as well because it's just everyone's on Twitter pretty much.
Just search and find conversations and just
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, literally. No, that's smooth then. Yeah, no, researching is very, very, very useful. But so in terms of you see earlier you mentioned how it's potentially a bubble. Do you think it still counts towards Veve, or you think that's kind of separated? Because the way with the IPs you have, I feel like it's a little bit. There's a little bit of a separation in a way.
Yeah. So there's two differences actually. Number one, Veve isn't actually decentralized because it's owned by a centralized company. Because obviously someone needs to sign these signatures and IPs. Whereas NFTs on like OpenSea is like completely decentralized. Yeah. So that's kind of like the only setback I see. However, I believe it's more like they're trying to become like an Amazon of NFTs with like real value. That makes sense. So it is separated, I think. So when those drop, like those are dropping already and going up, but it doesn't really matter. Crypto's dropping and going up, doesn't really matter. Like this is its own community. Like the people that download the app and buy it don't even know what crypto is. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So they don't even know it's a bear market.
They're just buying
what they like.
Buying a collectible, they don't even see it as an NFT.
They see it's worth 10K, it's gone up to 20K. They're like, whoa, that's crazy, that's an investment.
Easier for adoption, whereas...
So mass adoption is crazy fast. It's gonna go crazy fast. Like soon it's gonna go like bang, everyone's gonna be talking about it. Like a year from now, this is gonna age very well. Like everyone's gonna know about this. Everyone's gonna be like, yo, do you have this? 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 Like, yo, I have this, let's trade. It's gonna be like a new kind of like rave around it, because when you can make money online just from like buying something that looks cool, and collecting is kind of like a hobby for a lot of people. Like a lot of people like collecting things. It's very addictive. This app is very addictive because imagine owning like a cool Spider-Man and it's going up like 1K every day. Like what's happening? Like it's so cool, and you can, that's why they gamified it. And especially when they're talking about, they're also developing their own metaverse. So Veve itself is developing a metaverse, and Disney is developing a metaverse.
Yeah, and it'll be interconnectable. And
exactly, like the potential gain is much bigger than such loss.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm pretty much risk-free anyways. The only way I can lose money is, I don't know, it would be very hard to, because I only invest in the NFTs that I believe will be long-term. So like the blue chips, like the holy grails, if that for say, are the ones that I know will hold its value 10 years from now, 20 years from now, which is, I invest in the first ever, so the first ever Spider-Man NFT. Because in the future, Veve will probably release like 100 Spider-Mans, but if you get the first one out of the 100, that's when it's valuable.
That one's clear.
Exactly, that's why you need to get in now, because it's still only season 3, right? It's only season 3. You want to get all the season 1 stuff. Buy all the season 1 stuff.
All of it, yeah.
All of it. Make sure you have all of that, because when it's season 100, everyone's going to try it. Season 1 is going to be extinct. Like, no one's going to have that.
You'd be a cool guy to have a season 1.
Exactly. You understand. And because the way the world's moving with social status, right? People always want the rarest. They want the best. Like, they want the best watch. They want the best house. You can flex. You can't really flex your house, but you can flex an NFT, because it's easily shown. You'd be like, oh, this guy's the most expensive NFT. Like, this is the rarest one. Like,
online, you can see it.
Yeah, I wish I had this. Like, you're so cool. Like, people would like that feeling. It's like the verified tick on Twitter. Like, people want that. Not because it has value, because it makes you feel good. That's kind of how the NFTs works. And Twitter actually is getting an NFT section in there. Yeah, soon you're going to be able to display NFTs on your Twitter. Wow. So when you can do that and people can scroll on your Twitter and see, whoa, this guy's the best NFT, let me follow this guy. Like, it brings you opportunities to network with other people that also have those NFTs, and also other people come to you and be like, yo, can I buy that off you? Or yo, let's connect. I see you have this. Like, what made you do this? And it also inspires people, because, you know, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool
that's big. So for those that may be watching this thinking they're pumped, they're ready to start, how much do you recommend for someone to start? Because obviously, with your journey, you can deploy whatever you need, but for maybe a 16-year-old watching this, what steps would you give to them to get started, per se? Honestly, you need money, of course.
Honestly, you need capital, and you need liquid capital, because this is a long-term investment. You need to understand that this is something that is not going to happen overnight. Like, gains will happen overnight for sure. Like, some of my gains happened, like, went from like 30K overnight just because of a quick increase in price. But understand that the true potential of this is long term, when there's more collectibles out, when there's like, say, 10,000 collectibles out.
How many collectibles out now?
I'm not sure, but there's been 3 seasons so far. But there's a lot. And obviously, when there's like a lot, you have to be able to find the best ones, and the best ones will hold its value as season 1, because it's the first ever. So again, do your own research into Veve. Go on YouTube, Google it. Twitter, Reddit, everywhere. There's information about it everywhere. Do your own research on which collectibles to buy. But I suggest season 1 and first appearances. And make sure you have capital. If you don't have capital, and say you only have like $100, I would say don't invest in it, because you kind of want, with that 100, you might as well just start, do reselling of some sort. Like, you have quicker gains, like 100, buy like a lawnmower, mow some lawns for like, I don't know, 10, like, you'll gain much more than just putting it into NFT and praying it goes up.
In a way, would you say then NFTs per se, and like similar to watches as well, it's more of an investment you make once you've made your income in a way?
Yeah.
Obviously, you can invest it at any stage, but it makes more sense not to use your last P's in it, because again, this is a long-term investment. It's more something on the side, just there to park your wealth. And it's something, it's like a pretty much exactly what you said. It's like a store of value which has potential to go into an income. Because soon you might be able to rent these NFTs. Actually, no, they've actually confirmed you'll be able to rent these in the Metaverse. So people will be, like, someone wants to take a picture of you, like a statue, or like, they want a full set, they would rent your set and take pictures of it. And there's cars, so there's the DeLorean from the Back to the Future, there's Marty's hoverboard. Like, you can rent these in the Metaverse, maybe you can travel faster. They've talked about all of these things, like interoperability, so you can rent these. But actually, with Veve, actually, you don't even need a lot of money to get started. Like I said, my girl, she put in six gems, which is the in-app currency, right? And it's worth 1,000 if she sells it. So then you got 6, you got 1,000. Now you got 1,000 to play with. You can buy and sell NFTs and basically constantly flip them to build, so people can just flip their way up. I mean, you can even cash that out the way you said, like with crypto, or which is the best way, because anyone can buy it on mint day. So there's going to be a launch day. You buy the NFT. If you're lucky, you get it. You sell it instantly. You make, say, 30 to 100 profit. You then reinvest that into other mints. But like I said, you have to do your own research. There's just too much
to explain on this video.
Yeah.
This is just a quick overview, but
no, definitely.
but there's no limits.
That's big. And you mentioned Metaverse a few times. What was your opinion when you found out, you saw the Mark Zuckerberg's video of the Metaverse. What's your opinion on it? It's not something mixed opinions.
Yeah, like in the crypto space, people was talking about Metaverse long before Mark Zuckerberg. He actually caught into the hype because of the crypto space. Like people were already talking about this, they're already working products, and like people already developing it. So like I already knew a lot to do with Metaverse. So when I saw it, I was like, oh cool, like it looks like it's gonna be mass adopted now. And that's when the gaming coins started blowing up as well. Yeah, exactly. But what my thoughts is, it will definitely be the future, like AR. You put on glasses, you'll be able to see the dates, you'll be able to speak to individuals, you'll be able to see like a external layer on top of already everything you're seeing. So like, instead of just me seeing you, I could also see like down there, maybe like your Instagram right there, and like just stuff like that. It's like just cool add-ons. And I feel like
Tony Stark type of.
Yeah, it's very much Tony Stark type of things. But the technology is pretty much there. Like Apple is already developing it, and Veve actually is speaking to Apple on a daily basis, which is something crazy for a company of its magnitude. Like I said, we're very early in the space. I would say give it 3 to 10 years before like crazy adoption, because everyone's working now, but the working product's not going to be available until a couple of years' time.
Yeah, that makes sense.